Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
Welcome to St. Louis Cardinal baseball from beautiful downtown St. Louis. The Redbirds return after a 4-6 road trip. Interleague play begins tonight. The Cleveland Indians, game one of a 3-game series here tonight. Fans very happy to have their team home. The Indians and the Cardinals both in second place in their respective divisions. Rick Horton with Al Raboski. Glad you're with us, and interleague play is upon us. 15 games in a row now. The Cardinals will play in interleague play. Al, and what do you think of interleague play as it's developed over the years?
Well, I'm not a big fan of it, and one of the reasons why is we have played way too many games in the Central Division. We're not seeing the big powerhouses of the East. We've never been to Anaheim, and we've done this for 15 years. But I would tweak it a little bit, and of course next year we won't have to worry about it.
One of the good things about interleague play is how the Cardinals have played against the American League.
No doubt about it. They're 14 games over 500. They've hit very well in interleague play, just like this ball club is an offensive juggernaut. We'd like to see the pitching be a little better in this next 15 days, and 5 runs per game should be a victory.
Indians and the Cardinals are up for grabs segment when we come back. Baseball right around the corner on Fox Sports Midwest. play this evening. The Redbirds take on the Tribe coming up. But first, a look at a few lucky and unlucky fans from around baseball. We call it Up for Grabs.
Don't miss this.
Way up in the air, so much so that Barajas didn't see it. Boy, that thing just did come down on the fans' side.
That guy will be on the highlights tonight.
Don't put your glove out. Ole waiting for it to stop. She picked it up, but she has a souvenir.
Another two-handed catch. We've seen a lot of those.
Oh, and a still.
Loving every minute of it.
He was anticipating it well. He was looking for the carom there, and a little foot tied there.
Watch Jerry Lane here. Pick this. Boom. Wow, nice. That's pretty good stuff. That's good. Real good stuff.
For those of us that are former players, we don't shy away from those balls coming up this way.
Whoops. And down you go. I don't think that's it. Another one right to him. He caught that one.
Redemption.
That's unbelievable.
Of interleague play, we wanted to introduce you to some of the players St. Louis will oppose. Cleveland is up first, so here we go with 5 impactful Indians in 55 seconds. It's not often a second baseman leads a team in home runs and RBIs, but Jason Kipnis in his first full season is currently doing both for Cleveland, not to mention his team-leading 14 steals. Michael Brantley was the player to be named later for CC Sabathia, but now he's playing every day and enters tonight with baseball's longest active hit streak at 15. As Drupal Cabrera's offensive outbursts last year were nice, but the 26-year-old Venezuelan was better known for a collection of dazzling defensive plays even the Wizard would be proud of. Ubaldo Jimenez was one of baseball's brightest stars just 2 seasons ago, but now with Cleveland, he's been either really good or really bad. In St. Louis, where he'll start on Sunday, he's been very good. Then there's the former Cardinal Chris Perez. Perez has become one of the most effective save men in the American League, going a perfect 19 for 19 since blowing a save on opening day. Inching closer to baseball at Busch Stadium. Glad you're with us on Fox Sports Midwest. winning 2 out of 3 in Houston, and prepare for interleague play beginning tonight. Jake Westbrook, the former Indian, faces his former team for the first time and hopes to help the Cardinals to their 3rd straight win. Baseball next on Fox Sports Midwest. Sports Midwest is brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and Easy Drinking Bush Light. By your Mid-America Chevy dealers, the #1 selling brand in St. Louis. Find us at stlchevy.com. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. And by Steak and Shake, just no equal. Perfect night for baseball in downtown St. Louis. Here's the Indians batting order, brought to you by Southwest Air. Shin-Soo Choo, Asdrubal Cabrera, Jason Kipnis. That's the problem. Top of the order, 3 very good hitters. Santana, Brantley, Damon, Kochman, Chisenhall, and the pitcher is Josh Tomlin. And for St. Louis, it'll be the former Indian, Jake Westbrook. He's ready, and we're underway. Strike 1 to Choo.
Jake really needs to turn it around. He's really struggled. It's been a month since he won his 4th ball game. Since that time, he's lost 3 straight, 2 no decisions, a ton of hits.
Ground ball to the right side. That's a good sign. Descalzo backs up. Out number 1.
Saying Jake Westbrook in his last 5 starts, 0-3, 25 innings pitched, 24 runs on 39 hits.
A lot of runs and a lot of hits.
Has to get that sinker down, and a good start. With sinker down, you get a ground ball.
Asdrubal Cabrera from Venezuela, an all-star a year ago, 25 home runs to his credit. He's a switch hitter, and he lines this one in the gap in left center field. Holiday runs it down, cuts it off, and holds him to 1. Nice throw, nice defense by Holiday. And that'll give us a chance to look at the rest of the Cardinals defense. Shane Robinson and Beltran will be in center and right. The infield, freeze for call, Descalzo and Allen Craig. Jake Westbrook and Molina, the battery, are Dobbs Cardinals defense. For a guy that went 252 games without an error as a Cardinal catcher, Mike Matheny.
That was a record, right?
It was.
Major League record at that time, and not sure if it's been eclipsed or not.
Not to my knowledge.
This may be their best player, and that's saying something with the man that's on first base.
Jason Kipnis.
Not very big. He was a converted outfielder. now playing second base. Leads a ball club with 9 home runs. He's leader in stolen bases in the American League.
Complete player, and he grounds this one off his foot. He's down at the plate. He hit that ball right off his knee.
Yeah.
A lot of times you'll see off the instep, the ankle, but that ball looked like he just drilled his front knee. Looks like he's in some pain.
That is another sign of a knuckleball pitcher. That frequently you see guys that will, a sinker ball pitcher, and you see someone that hitters foul the ball off. You see he wears a shin guard, so this happens frequently, but this time he misses, hits the kneecap, and he's down in pain.
Good look at that on our Plaza Tire Foxmo. Kipnis still in some pain at the plate. You talked about how good a player he is, Al. 14 out of 15 in stolen bases. And the power you mentioned, the 9 home runs, and he's just 5'11", 185.
Like I said, we knew how difficult it was for Skip Schumacher to make the transition from outfielder to second base. And they say this kid started doing it last year, but then really has taken into it this year. And wasn't it good to see Skip Schumacher taking batting practice? Manny Acta wants him to get up and be all right, because look what he has done this season offensively for the club. First in runs, hits, tied for first in triples, the 9 home runs, RBIs, stolen bases. I'd say he's a very valuable player, and usually the third place hitter is.
Indians have a good offense, Al. They really have a solid lineup from top to bottom. In fact, 5 of their players have a hit streak that's active of 7 or more. 2 have not in the game, Marson and Lopez, but 3 of them are, including Cabrera with a 9-game hitting streak, but bigger than that, now 10. But Michael Brantley has 15.
And they're a club too that doesn't hit for, say, a tremendously high average, but they score runs. They work the count. They're patient. They'll receive their walks. They're number 1 in the American League, 2nd in the major leagues in stolen bases.
Interesting how he starts in his approach to each pitch. He kind of just flattens his bat out and then gets ready. There's a line drive to left. It's going to drop in front of Halladay. So a couple of hits back to back here for the Indians.
It's kind of a mixed bag a little bit, but you see that ball is waist high, and so that's too high for a sinker ball. You know, a lot of times left-hand hitters are low ball hitters, but and you know, a sinker baller, you want that ball down, but you want it moving, and you want it down below the knees. Sell it with it starting about waist high and then having it drop down below the knees, have them pound it in the ground.
Carlos Santana does the catching for Cleveland. He's a switch hitter. A couple switch hitters in the lineup, Cabrera and Santana. And they have 8 left-handed bats. Only the pitcher Tomlin hits from the right side.
And it's really not much difference. If there was a left-handed starter, probably only 2 substitutions. Maybe in left, maybe at third. We'll see that on Sunday. As the Cardinals have publicly announced now that Joe Kelly will make his major league debut and start on Sunday afternoon. A talented, hard-throwing left-hander.
Look forward to that. The 0-1 is a slider off the plate in. 1-1 to Santana. Santana 27 homers a year ago. And he was 3rd in the American League in walks with 97. So he's a guy that can hit, has a little power, but also knows the strike zone. There's a line drive to left. Matt Holliday is back to the track, and it's off the wall. Holliday plays it on 1 hop. 1 run's going to score, and the second runner, Kipnis, will have to hold at third because he was right on the tail of Cabrera, and it's 1-0 in a hurry here Cleveland strikes in the first.
Once again, the ball is hit in the air, so it's a ball that's up. It's out of the strike zone. Holiday might have got a little too close. As he realized he couldn't catch that ball, he got too close and didn't cleanly catch the carom. Wouldn't have changed the outcome because it's going to be a double and an RBI. But see, he gets a little too close, tries to back up, and then he didn't catch the carom cleanly. But it really, as I said, didn't change the outcome.
Michael Brantley loops it foul. Brantley, the son of a major league player. Mickey Brantley played for years with Seattle. And we mentioned his 15-game hitting streak on the line here tonight. Jake Westbrook spent parts of 9 seasons with the Cleveland Indians at the major league level. Ground ball to the right side. That's going to score another one. 2-0 Cleveland on the ground out.
Well, Jake, 15-game winner in back-to-back seasons for Cleveland, but right now really not getting that power sinker down where he wants it. Did get another ground ball and good situational hitting for Brantley. They score another run.
Johnny Damon has always been a hitting machine.
Playing in his 28th game with Cleveland and just coming off paternity leave. Gotta say that a little slower, don't you?
That's right. Damon, very unique style, very active with his legs.
Been around a long time, hasn't he?
Sure has.
Represented himself very well. Think about the outfield that Kansas City had at one time. Damon, Jermaine Dye, and Beltran.
Not bad. 1-1. Round to the right side. Tough play. Craig flips to Jake Westbrook. But the Indians pick up 2 runs on 3 hits here in the first. Welcome to interleague play. Two 2-0 Cleveland, bottom of the first inning, game 1 of a 9-game interleague homestand for the Cardinals. Here's their batting order, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. For game 1, for Call, Beltran, and Holiday are 1-2-3, followed by the hot-hitting Alan Craig. David Freese seems to have found his form. Molina, Descalzo, Shane Robinson, and Jake Westbrook. And that's the lineup that will face Josh Tomlin, 2-3 with a 5.3 ERA, a 12-game winner last year for the Indians.
Talk about a little more about, he spent about 3 weeks on the disabled list with a weird injury, but this kid is going to guarantee to give you 5 innings. If you looked at 2010 when he came up, and then all last year, he set a modern day major league record of his first 37 consecutive starts. He went at least 5 innings. Not very big, Doesn't throw very hard, but has a good feel for pitching, primarily a sinker baller. Doesn't walk many.
Behind on for call now, 2-1 as he backs him off the plate. Ralphie at 319. And he pops it up. Brantley out number 1. Cleveland towards the bottom of the American League in team defense. Damon, Brantley, and Chu in the outfield. Chisenhall, Cabrera, Kipnis, and Kochman on the infield from left to right. And Tomlin and Carlos Santana will pitch and catch our Dobbs Indians defense.
Tomlin missed roughly 3 weeks on the DL with intersection syndrome. You ever heard of that one?
I never have.
A condition that caused inflammation of a tendon and tendon sheath in his right throwing wrist.
Hard hit the center, but right at Brantley.
So one of the things that he does is he can retire hitters in very few pitches, about 85, and then you really got to keep a close eye on him. But many times after 85 pitches, he'll be in the 7th inning.
Pretty valuable what you're talking about, Al, that he can go 5 and you can count on him. That really helps out your bullpen.
You just you can't overestimate what that means, as you said. Just ask the Cardinals when they had to have 6 innings by their bullpen on Tuesday and then 9 outs on Wednesday. You can put a tax on your bullpen. You can't do it very often.
Matt Holliday at 10 home runs and 35 RBIs. Had a very good month of May, and he's really carried it into June. He seems very comfortable at the plate, kind of off balance a bit in the month of April. 2-out hit for Holliday. And the Cardinals have a base runner for probably their hottest hitter, Alan Craig.
No doubt about it, but as you said with Holliday, he just, April was the strange sensation. A little slider down, and he hits the ball so hard it just powers through the infield. And Alan Craig, 20 games, the damage he has done. 26 RBIs, and today he's playing in his 20th game. Keep him healthy.
That's the issue, as it is with a number of Cardinal players on their current roster. Craig with a 5-game hitting streak where he's been 10 for his last 21. There's the numbers you're talking about. 19 games, 382 average, and a high slugging percentage to go along with it. 1 strike to Craig is in the dirt. And Holliday, a late jump, but there he goes. Santana with the throw, and he might have had him, but not able to hold on to the baseball is Kipnis.
Another aspect of sliding feet first is, in this case, his legs did not kick the ball out of the glove, but maybe his upper body just going in there. He puts the glove in front of his chest, and the little man's not going to win that battle with Holliday.
That appeared to help him drop that ball, didn't he?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But I'm not a fan of sliding head first. And Luke Rock will tell you that the only way you can slide head first is if the infielders allow you to do so. There's a lot of tricks of how to say it in a polite way, but hurt a base runner. And it used to be employed.
2-1 the count. Craig at the plate. Cardinals trailing by 2. I guess my point, Al, was I know that there's some subjectivity to this, but it appeared that Holliday may have kind of tried to induce that ball to come out of the glove by kind of pushing it out, which you're not allowed to do.
Yeah, you have to conceal it as a part of your slide.
Oh,
sometimes your hands do get.
So you can do it if you conceal it.
If you conceal it.
Okay.
Magician.
The 3-1. Fouled off, now 3-2.
I had a talk with Tim Wallach, and as you look at the numbers by Alan Craig, what he's done, hit safely in 16 of his 19 games, multi-hit games, 11 of those 19 were multi-hit, RBIs in 14, multiple RBI games in 19.
Big numbers.
2 stints on the disabled list.
Full count.
But Tim Wallach was talking, remember you got D. Gordon, a speedster, the little shortstop. Well, he always slides head first and everything. And Tim Wallach said, you wouldn't like me. He goes, what do you mean? Because I'd break your shoulder. And he talked to him about, you know, the fact that as a third baseman, you come in there trying to steal third base, I'll drop a knee on you, drop your shoulder, I'll hurt you. That's how the game was played.
Craig walks. And now Josh Tomlin, 27-year-old right-hander, will have to contend with David Freese.
Josh Tomlin, one of the better control pitchers in the league. He doesn't walk many.
Tomlin did have a rough first inning in his last outing, Al. He gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, and he had a hard time getting going, but then kind of settled down, so he's off to kind of a shaky start here, and the Cardinals would do well to capitalize on it in the first.
And he's pitching on extra rest because of that career high in earned runs and hits.
Freese gets under it. Major league fly ball to center. And Brantley will get all 3 putouts here in the Cardinals first. We're through 1. The Cardinals trail the Indians 2-1, 2-0. First take, the Cleveland Indians, kind of an average offense as far as the numbers go, 8th in the American League at 251. Where they really shine is the end of the bullpen. Chris Perez with 21 saves, 2nd in the league. Here's a good sinker from Jake Westbrook. Good start to the top of the 2nd.
Bullpen mafia, what you're talking about.
Casey Kochman plays first base for Cleveland. Kochman, Chisenhall, and Tomlin in the 2nd. It's interesting how you talk about Jake Westbrook having pitches up in the zone. When you're a sinker ball pitcher, up doesn't have to be like way up. Up can be middle of the thigh, perhaps.
Just put it this way, it's more hittable. That's what he wants to do, is get the ball down like that, sell it to a hitter. Kochman, very good defensive player.
Christian Day at the ballpark, Saturday, June 30th. The Cardinals will host the Pirates on that day. Stick around after the game. And the featured speaker will be Mike Matheny. Clint Hurdle will also be on hand, the Pirates manager, as well as players from both ball clubs. For tickets and info, visit cardinals.com/Christian Day. There's that good sinker again at the knees. It's actually a strikeout according to the rule book. The hollow right below the kneecap is the bottom of the strike zone.
All right, then explain to me what the top of the strike zone is.
I will explain that to you here in a second. First, I have to tell everybody that that was out number 2.
Because I know what the rule book says, and you tell me the last year an umpire called it anywhere close to the letters.
The rule book says that the top of the strike zone. We'll ask John Jay about that at some point. Good to see him here at the ballpark. Cardinals could use him patrolling center field, but the strike zone is defined in the rule book. I just looked this up, Al. Is the midpoint between the top of the shoulder and the top of your belt. The midpoint of that when you are in your hitting stance.
Which that has changed, but still it's a lot. That would be a higher strike zone than what's called, Joy. You know, interleague play, it really is an advantage in National League clubs when the pitchers have to hit. Disadvantage.
Two 2-0 Cleveland, bottom of the second inning. A scene from Lone Elk Park. And we don't really believe that that is an elk.
It is. It is.
But Al says it is.
That's an elk.
And that is a wonderful park. Great place to run, I might add. And here's the place to be tonight. If you're in St. Louis, downtown at Busch Stadium. Cardinals return from that 4-6 road trip, and almost feels like it was a 4-40 road trip, Al. That was a tough trip for St. Louis. Nice to be back home. Yadier Molina lines out to the shortstop. Nice play by Cabrera going to his left.
Well, the defensive wizard, that's just going to be a routine play for him. But you're absolutely right. Looked like a sure base hit for Yadi. Has to take a few steps up, reaches the apex with his jump and hauls it in. But he truly is a magician at shortstop, and looking forward to seeing him play this weekend. Don't want to see him take away too many hits.
Agreed. Daniel Descalzo getting the start at second base here in game one. Descalzo seeing a little more playing time of late. Fly ball to center. 2 outs in the Cardinals' second.
some pitchers have that knack of when they allow fly balls, they just have them hit it out to Death Valley, and then you don't mind it. You know,
in the middle of the field.
Yeah, the middle of the field, the big part of the field. There are home runs there, but the big guys have to hit them.
Shane Robinson powered up in Houston. Had a home run there in that series. The Cardinals took 2 out of 3 against the Astros to get that trip back decent again after really struggling offensively in New York.
Now this offense doesn't struggle often, and if you really look at that tough road trip, they hit very well in Atlanta. They had their problems in New York, no doubt about it, and they struck out 41 times in the 4-game series in New York. No hit by Santana. Then I think they messed up their, put them all in a little bit of a slump when they had to face the knuckleballer Dickey.
Base hit up the middle. Cardinals with another 2-out hit. That's what Holiday did in the first. Now Robinson here in the second.
When you look at what happened in Houston, 8 home runs by 7 different players, but in Houston, 3-game series, they scored 27 runs and only won 2 games.
75 homers as a team for the Cardinals. They lead the National League. Jake Westbrook doesn't figure to get one of those, although he does have a home run to his credit.
But that last year at Milwaukee, stunned himself. My memory bank's going, was that a grand slam?
I believe it was.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Your memory may still be going, but I believe that was a grand slam.
Well,
they both may be
not
true.
Gone. Close.
You know who you are.
Who?
$50,000 was raised in the final game against the Astros with the 5 home runs in that game. $50,000 for prostate cancer research. And there's a base hit for Jake Westbrook. That'll send Robinson to third. How about that? Pitchers love it when pitchers get hits.
Robinson, 2 outs, contact's made. You don't have to worry about whether second baseman catches it or not. Just put your head down and get over to third base and let somebody else tell you if it's the third out, it's been caught or not.
Smart base runners will understand that there are times where they're not going to try to throw you out anyway because they don't want the trail runner to take that extra base.
Sure.
A lot of situations like that. For call. Takes strike 1. He flew out in the first inning, and you really like to see Furcal making his outs if he's going to make outs on the ground.
True. And I had 2 home runs on the road trip, and that sometimes gets you uppercutting, thinking you can hit long ball. But then you kind of beat on yourself a little bit and just get back and say, okay, slap down on the ball, particularly when he's from the left side. He is a slap hitter. And he leads Major League leadoff men with his 28 RBIs.
Handles the bat very well. Fouls that one off.
He hit that twice?
He did.
Yeah.
Fouled it off, then
his backswing hit it again.
Good measure. Yeah.
Now you think we're kidding, no, but watch this. Hits it, and then he hit it again.
Don't try that at home, folks.
No. Unless you're in the living room.
Yeah. Moms are loving you right now. The 1-2. Grounded to the right side. Tough play, but it's handled by Kochman just barely inside the bag. Cardinals strand 2 more. They've stranded 4. They trail 2-0. Coverage of the Cardinals with MLB.com at Bat 12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Cardinals.com for details. Nice crowd on hand. Cardinals trail 2-0. 9-game homestand. Indians, White Sox, and the Kansas City Royals. Interleague play is upon us here in St. Louis. Glad you're with us. Rick Horton, Al Raboski, and our favorite inning is the inning that we get to have Jim Hayes with us. And Jim's alongside here for the third inning. And first pitch is grounded off of Westbrook, right to Furcal. Strong throw. Gets chewed. Westbrook may have slowed that one down a bit.
You know, Jake has made 2 errors this season, but that is no reflection of what kind of defensive player he is. He truly understands that he's a fifth infielder when he releases the ball, and Furcal would have gotten to that ball even if it was not slowed down because he was playing up the middle.
As Drubal Cabrera singled and scored in the first. And a good strike on the outside corner from Westbrook. Let's welcome in Mr. Hayes. Jim, I know you have been on top of all of the injury issues that the Cardinals have had. In fact, maybe we'll start calling you Dr. Jim Hayes because there's always a long list of injuries the Cardinals have to report on, and you've got some news there.
I've had no formal medical training, and the list is far too long, far too long. I guess the big news is that Jaime Garcia is going to be out for at least a month. They're still trying to pinpoint exactly what the shoulder issue is, but we figured based on what had happened on the road trip where Jaime wasn't even sure, they said it was a shoulder issue that probably wasn't a short-term thing. Jaime start on Sunday. Will go to Joe Kelly, who they'll call up from AAA. And John Mozeliak telling us in the pregame show they'll see how that goes and figure out what the longer-term plan is from there.
And now, how big a blow is that to the Cardinals that Jaime Garcia is out for a month?
You can recover from it. You know, Jaime is very, very talented. He was not pitching as good as we've seen him. But, I mean, he's not the only guy that needs to get back in pitching in right order. Right now, after a bad first inning, Westbrook is settling down.
Just how fast does the baseball get upon you? I love that angle. You have, what, a half a second to react? See where it is?
And Jake's not one of the hardest throwers either. But, you know, Jaime, let's get his mind clear. And, you know, right now he feels there's something there.
Line drive to left. And Jim Hayes has settled down these Cleveland Indian bats. Bottom of the third coming up. Beltran when we come back.
West is brought to you by MyKiaSt.Louis.com. And right now at Jack in the Box, you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club Combo for just $4.99 plus tax. 2-0 Indians. Beltran, Holiday, and Craig in the third, and there's a bunt attempt, and guess what? There's nobody playing third.
Want to put a shift on? I'll get a base hit.
And I learned last night on the post-game show that bunting is not easy, and I learned it from you, Rick.
I'm glad you were watching.
See, the third baseman is the only one on the left side of the infield, so Carlos decides to beat the shift. Just drop that bunt down, perfect. And we'll see if they want to do it again next time he comes up. Wonder why more hitters don't do that.
Agreed.
Well, as Rick pointed out last night, you got to have the bat balanced, and you've got to bend where the pitch is. He had a little breakdown last night.
I thought at maybe 10 o'clock you would have been a lot better than at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Long game, wasn't it?
It's true.
See, some of us have better bunting form after midnight than you, Rick.
Uh-oh. Ground ball to short. Cabrera, smooth hands to Kipnis, high throw. But the double play is completed. 6-4-3.
Hurry up, give us some more news.
But first, before that news, we want to remind you that you can send us your emails at carsoup.com/Cardinals. Your email the booth questions. We'll have one for you before the telecast is over. And Jake Westbrook is a former Indian, but the Indians have a former Cardinal, and you had a chance to visit with their closer, Chris Perez.
Yeah, who's a closer now, a bona fide closer. And he said he's having a ball being back in St. Louis, seeing a lot of his old teammates. And I said, obviously for you, winning games, saving games, that's the goal. I go, but what about the team that gave up on you as a closer? Is it deep down something you want to prove? And he said, now that Tony's gone, no. He said Tony's not the easiest guy to ingratiate yourself to, and he felt he wanted to prove it to Tony.
Chris Perez, the closer. Jim Hayes, it always goes so fast when he's here. Tourism, go to visitmo.com. Start planning your next Missouri getaway. What you're looking at right now is Elephant Rocks State Park in Graniteville. Park features giant granite rocks that are millions of years old. They stand end to end, look like a train of red circus elephants, in fact. They have a self-guiding trail there. Among the geologic wonders, picnic sites also available. Elephant Rocks State Park. Visitmo.com. Top of the fourth, 2-0 Indians. Westbrook has settled down some. He'll have Santana, Brantley, and Damon in the fourth.
Santana, as you said, hit 27 home runs last season, a switch hitter. And he was the compensation for Casey Blake going to the Dodgers. Pretty good deal for Cleveland.
I'll say.
And Casey Blake now out of baseball.
Santana just 25 years of age, from the Dominican. Notice that the Indians have a number of players out that have very unique batting styles. We saw Kipnis kind of laid the bat back. Johnny Damon and the front foot of Santana.
I see pointed the toe. And the one thing they said is he feels at times he hadn't had a lot of protection, but they say the one good thing about Santana is he will walk instead of trying to expand his zone and hurting the ball club.
97 walks a year ago. Tune in before Sunday's Cards-Indians game for Toyota Cardinals Live. On the Sunday Sevens, we look back at the best moments of interleague play. Toyota Cardinals Live Sunday at 12:30, followed by the Cardinals and Indians. We begin at 1 on Fox Sports Midwest. There's a sinker, down and away, ball 1 to Michael Brantley, working on a 15-game hitting streak. And he's just 24 years of age, so some young players in this Indians lineup are a big part of their production.
A lot of reasons why the Cleveland fans should get excited about this ball club. I think they're surprising people by being a game and a half out in the Central Division. Manny Acta, their manager.
There's a ground ball. It's going to be a tough play, and it's through the hole, and not going to third is Santana, and that has everything to do with the arm of Carlos Beltran.
No doubt about it. He was stopped for a reason. As Santana looked to go to third, he checks here. Now he picks up, and all of a sudden he must have heard a verbal yell, "Stop."
Stop.
And the Cardinal fans were hoping he would move and go to third and be thrown out.
They've heard that in Spanish. Párate. Párate ahí.
Alto.
Doesn't that mean high? Alto?
You know, in some countries there's different words, but sometimes doesn't that mean a stop sign and say
Could be.
alto? Yes, alto is on a stop sign.
I did not know that.
And you call yourself bilingual.
I thought maybe you were going Hungarian on me there.
That'll be later in the season. I'll tell you. By the way, there is a big Hungarian contingent in Cleveland. And as our director, Mike Helling, said, in Budapest also.
We aim to teach here on Fox Sports Midwest. Johnny Damon, 7th Major League team. 2-time All-Star, over 2,700 career hits. Doesn't really seem to change too much, does he?
No, he just 16 consecutive seasons of at least 140 games. Only Pete Rose, Hank Aaron, and Brooks Robinson have done that.
Westbrook needs a ground ball here, and he gets it to the right side. Slowly hit to second for 1. No chance to double up Damon.
But a good job right there, getting the middle man, keeping the double play in order.
Jake Westbrook, very good early in the season. First 6 starts, he was 4-2 out. Our Toyota keys to this game with the last 5, the ERA high, home runs high.
We just talked about all the hits he's given up and just allowing the, giving the ball in the air, and balls in the air have a tendency to go out. I haven't seen a ground ball home run yet that leaves the ballpark. We wondered about the pitch count and Carlos Santana. Johan Santana, Santana's is 134, a career high pitch count in his no-hitter last Friday. They gave him 2 extra days rest, and he's not responding well.
Losing 6-0 to the Yankees that game in the 7th. A lot of interleague play going on tonight. Astros lead the White Sox in the 3rd. Phillies lead Baltimore. And you expect the American League teams to be leading most games because that's kind of the way it normally is, Al. I hate to say it. There goes the runner. And it's fouled at the plate, so Damon will have to return. The Indians run fairly often. 48 stolen bases as a team. The Cardinals with 38, and they're, I would say, above average in the National League, but the Indians run more.
Well, they lead the American League in stolen bases, and only second to Miami in all of baseball in the stolen base department. There it makes sense. Got a sinker baller. Looks like Jake's starting to get more ground balls. Stay out of the double play. Start the runner.
Off-speed pitch blocked by Molina. Yeah, Jake is not really your swing and miss type pitcher. He did have more strikeouts in April than he's had the last 5 to 6 weeks, but you don't have to worry quite so much in hit and run situations about him inducing that swing and miss. Two the count here. Molina calls time and does that little sign with his right arm in circles that says, let's do that again. Let me go through the sequence one more time.
Change up.
And it's grounded to second base. Descalzo is only going to be able to get the hitter Kochman. He had all kinds of ideas there. He thought about home. You could just see his brain at work there, Al. He thought about home, then second, just decided to get an out.
Tough luck for Westbrook because the ball just wasn't hit hard enough to do anything else than what Descalzo did. If it's hit sharp enough, he might go home. If he's hit a little bit better, he might be able to tag out Damon as he goes by. And the only play he did have was at first base, so Kochman grounds out, but an RBI.
Of course, Al, his bad luck here in this inning started out with him issuing a walk, which was really on him.
I don't know about you, Ricky, but if we could redo or replay our careers, the one thing I would do is never walk anybody. Nothing good.
I would change it. I would never give up any runs. That's what I would do differently.
Hate to tell you, Ricky, you were going to give up some. Just like Chapman. Just like Chapman. Ricky, right. You and Chapman were right there together.
Yeah, very similar. Pirates 4-2 over Kansas City. That game in the 7th. Cubs 2-1 in Minnesota. And Cincinnati's ahead of Detroit. Ground ball to left side. Nice play by Furcal just to save a run. Infield hit for Lonnie Chisenhall. So 2 hits in the inning.
See Furcal playing up the middle a little bit, so he has to go to his right. Makes the play in the hole. Had no throw, but saves a run. Checks the runner at third, see if he rounds the bag too far. Pitcher up, concentrate on him, shouldn't score anymore.
Josh Tomlin struck out in the 2nd inning. The Indians had 3 hits in interleague play last year for their pitchers, and he had 2 of them.
Pitched well in interleague play, but American League clubs are really at a disadvantage when they come into National League clubs and have to hit. Lose one of their most productive hitters, their DH. And one of the suggestions, and it's I agree with, is you ought to let, if it's a National League club, play by American League rules. Have the DH in effect. Let the National League fans see how inferior the American League game is. And then in the American League clubs, have the pitcher hit.
Let them get excited about it.
Let them see how much more second guessing they can do.
That's right. Give them a chance. I like that idea.
And unfortunately, as next season with the Astros going to the American League, and then you'll have an interleague game every day, and that will probably be a prelude down the road that they'll have the DH in both leagues, and that'll be a travesty.
Appears to be headed in that direction, but I'm not so sure yet.
I hope not.
Westbrook trying to get out of this inning without much damage. Misses with a slider. 2-2 to Josh Tomlin. Westbrook is 4-5 on the season.
Stopped that 3-game losing streak, as we said, and he's not the only one. You know, all the Cardinal starters got off to a good start, but Wainwright. And then since that time, Wainwright's getting straightened out, and guys have struggled other than Lance Lynn.
Called third strike. Strikeout number 4 for Jake. The Indians tack on another. Sunday, June 10th, kids ages 15 and younger entering with a ticket can collect a lunch cooler bag, compliments of Powerade and Shop and Save. It's the perfect way to kick off your summer. You can get your tickets at Cardinals.com. There's some folks that want some Cardinal runs. Waving the towels. Let's go. Good seats, too. Right behind home plate. They can tell just how fast these pitchers throw the baseball, and I love this view. I can't get enough of it. I know for fans watching, you may not be able to pick up the baseball every time we show you this, but that's part of the point, just to show you just how good these hitters are, how quick their reaction time is. David Freese, Yadier Molina, and Daniel Descalzo for the Cardinals here in the 4th. David 8 for his last 22. Modest 5-game hitting streak.
Well, David was having a frustrating night last night, and 3 strikeouts and ended up on a high note.
Broken bat off the end of the bat.
Hit his first career grand slam, and then later on hit a 2-run home run. David, so a little slider. Not much movement on it, but right off the end of the bat, didn't center it, and another leadoff hit.
Cardinal fans decked out tonight. Redbirds in the need of a little encouragement. Would you agree with that, Al, after the road trip? Nice to come home and have your fans cheer for you.
Well, definitely nice, and fans always respond in a very positive way here. Cardinals are 2 games over 500 at home, 500 on the road. Cleveland actually is 4 games over 500 on the road and 500 at home. They're one of the better road teams in the American League.
There's a line drive in the gap in right center field. It's deep. It's off the base of the wall for Molina, headed to second base, and he slides in safely. Yachty hit that ball a ton to right center field.
Missed his 9th home run by about 3 feet. Extends his little modest hitting streak to 3 games. He had 344 with a home run and 4 RBIs on the road trip. So he was doing his job and always handling the pitching staff and stopping the running game. So fastball in the middle of the plate, and he hits it to the opposite field. Missed it by about a foot.
Like the sounds from that particular vantage point too. You hear the crack of the bat.
You can tell when certain hitters hit the ball, it has a more distinct sharpness, crack of the bat.
There's a crack of the bat right to the right fielder. Chu backs up and shows off his arm. That ball hit right on the nose by Daniel Descalzo. This July, don't miss the biggest event of the summer. Baseball's greatest stars will battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 MLB All-Star Game. It will be Tuesday, July 10th at 6:30 on Fox. And what Cardinals will be there? The game's best will be there. The All-Star Game.
Last count, Yachty was leading his position behind the plate, trying to go to the All-Star Game for the 4th time, and Carlos Beltran was a leading vote getter, one of the 3 leading vote getters for the July 10th All-Star Game in Kansas City.
There goes Molina. A ground ball to short. Robinson runs well, but he is nailed by a half a step. Molina's double is wasted. We're through 4. Tell you about, we can't tell you about them all, but this one's very special to us at Fox Sports Midwest, the 4th annual Megan Meyer Foundation Golf Tournament, Monday, June 25th. It'll be at the Golf Club at Wentzville. Lunch and registration are going to begin at 11 o'clock. It'll be an 18-hole scramble at noon. Awards ceremony and silent auction. One of the auction items will be a foursome of golf with Jack Clark, so you don't want to miss that. Again, it'll be benefiting the Megan Meyer Foundation. For more information, you can call 636-777-7823 or visit our website at meganmeyerfoundation.org. Foundation's mission is to bring awareness, education, promote positive change to children, parents, and educators in response to the ongoing instance of bullying and cyberbullying. So very important work, and we'd love for folks to contribute any way they can. meganmeyerfoundation.org. Jake Westbrook working to Shin Soo Chu from South Korea. 291 career batting average for Chu. And he's a very complete player. He runs well. Already seen his arm. Has a little pop in his bat.
Kind of touched on Ricky. I like the way we saw on the double by Molina and also the line drive by Descalso, how he showed off the arm. If you got a good one, why not? That's the only way to keep it.
Used to get to show it off in infield.
What's that?
That's what they used to do right before the game. Al, guys would go out there and they'd hit on the ball, they'd throw it around.
Oh, you mean the thing that helped you become a better defensive player?
Especially the outfielders.
Exactly.
Infielders take, in fairness,
a
ton of ground balls during batting practice. There's basically a new style of having coaches hit multiple ground balls to every infielder, and they'll do that every day. And they get their work in for sure.
And sometimes they'll do it also.
Well, that may make you want to have some more infield practice. Alan Craig fielded the tough hop and then just couldn't get it out of his glove. Dropped it. Close play, and credit Chu for hustling.
Well, watch, he does the tough part. He gets the ball. Then he reaches in to make the exchange, and he dropped it. And then he flipped it to him. And see clearly that Chu did beat the play. So an error by Alan Craig, his second of the year. Cardinals 36th as a team. And really, like they say too, you know, you'll see the outfielders do some throwing, but it's before batting practice. Then you've got, you know, an hour or so before the game starts.
Line drive base hit for Cabrera. Now some trouble for Westbrook here in the fifth. And it began so easily with a little ground ball to Alan Craig, and now Cabrera with that hole on the right side drives it.
Big swing right there. Westbrook looking for a ground ball to turn two, but it just hit it hard and through for his second hit. Or that error just puts the monkey on Westbrook's back. You're already trailing by 3, and you got enough of an uphill climb, especially when you start thinking you get into their bullpen. It's going to make it even tougher.
And you're also at the middle of their order right now.
Yeah, and you get into their thunder and thump. And if you look at the Cardinals, there's no way you can complain. Even with the problems they had in New York, you cannot complain about the offense. Scoring over 5 runs per game. Defense has gotten loose, shaky.
Another base hit. I'll score another Indian run. Kipnis, RBI number 36 on the season for him, and it's 4-0 Cleveland. Glad you're with us. Busch Stadium, St. Louis. Cardinals' first game of a 9-game homestand from Busch Stadium. Rick Horton, Al Raboski, and Jim Hayes helping us out here tonight. And it's been all Cleveland so far. Jake Westbrook getting a mound visit from Derek Lilliquist. 7 hits on the night for the Indians. 2 runs in the first, 1 in the fourth, and 1 in the fifth. And Westbrook trying to shut the door. 68 total pitches for Jake.
Obviously, they should not have gotten this run as Chu scores as he was reached on the error. But as a pitcher, you can't go allow 2 more base hits right after the error. Not that he's trying, because he's.
Line drive caught by Descalso. What a play to his right. Quick reactions of Daniel Descalso and good hands to go along with it.
Good base running by Cabrera, also not to get doubled up at second base. Daniel made 2 dazzling plays in Houston. Remember the game where 2 days ago he hit the home run in his first plate appearance, made 2 plays, one like this one, and then he had that game-saving play as on the error by Freeman, chased the ball down the right field line and then threw out Castro trying to score. That was a 1-run game, and he saved it from being tied, and probably momentum shifter right there into the Astros dugout.
Showed anticipation, athleticism, all kinds of things on that play in Houston. And he showed us something there on that bullet off the bat of Santana. And you're talking about the issue of the error to Alan Craig to lead this inning off, Alan. I think it'd be fair to say that Jake Westbrook is a pitcher that has kind of a small margin for error. You really cannot rely on him to overcome too much if you mess up defensively. Some pitchers you can.
Yes. He's, by definition, he's a pitch to contact. And it's not like a guy that can just strike out guys at will and overcome a lot of mistakes. He's dependent on his defense.
High strike to Brantley, who is 1 for 2. Brantley is hitting streak now at 16. Late swing, awkward swing by Brantley. And it's held on to by Molina. Jake Westbrook, we mentioned 9 years as a Cleveland Indian. 69-69 record there, but a couple of other pretty good Cleveland Indians have gone elsewhere.
Right, Sabathia, Cliff Lee, outstanding pitchers. Jake a little bit down in comparison to those, but those were 3 very reliable pitchers early in their careers for the Cleveland Indians. Jake, I said, a 2-time 15-game winner back-to-back seasons for Cleveland. That was in, and he won 14 in 04, 15 in 05, 15 in 06.
Westbrook, nice play up the middle. And the Indians are retired. But they pick up another lead. Lead St. Louis 4-0. To celebrate, then, with the Cardinals and Hardys, bring the family to the ballpark early on Saturday, June 9th. Jake Westbrook lines this one into the gap in right center field. Chu runs it down. The Hardys pregame block party in the Ballpark Village lot from 3 to 5 on that Saturday, June 9th. Kick off your summer in the right way.
Here we are, Dan. Excuse me, Ricky.
Dan's going to do the postgame.
Yeah, but we're in the bottom of the 5th inning, and here, once again, you're just seeing Tomlin just go out there and kind of forget about him out there, but he's on the good side of a 4-0 lead.
You mentioned it now early. He's not a guy that when you look at him you think, wow, this guy's got some great whatever. Stuff, fastball, slider. He's just kind of a regular right-handed pitcher, isn't he?
Comfortable 0 for 4.
Yep.
And you're going back to the dugout saying, how did this guy get me out? But key is you're making a U-turn. You're making a right turn, not a left turn around the bases.
He did win 12 games last year. He had a right elbow problem that you mentioned earlier, Al, which limited him to just 26 starts. 12 wins, pretty good.
Okay, now look at what they did. The defense, as we got the third baseman, he's playing, close to the line to react to the bunt, and then you got the 3 infielders on the right side. Second baseman playing short right. Isn't that a term in softball?
They call it short outfielder, right?
Pitch him away so he can slap it. Now they put their third baseman back up where he was last time when Belton dropped the bunt.
He just moved, what, 15 feet?
And I think part of that is going, okay, there's 2 outs. If you want to drop down a bunt, so be it.
Fly ball to right. In his tracks is Chu. Quick inning for Tomlin. America Interleague play continues. The Indians taking on the Cardinals. Baseball Night in America, presented by Budweiser, begins Saturday at 6 p.m. only on Fox. Beautiful night in St. Louis. Lights just now taking effect. Jake Westbrook trailing his former club, the Cleveland Indians, 4-0. Seven, 8, 9 for Maniacta's club here in the 6th inning. Grounded foul. Al, how would you rate so far the performance of Jake Westbrook?
Well, I truly can't rate it that good. He's given up 4 runs, 3 of them are earned, 7 hits. Now, he did allow a couple runs in the 1st inning. And there's good, there's bad, but you'd like to think the shouldn't be giving up that many hits, and in particular that many line drives and the fly balls to the outfield. But he's up there competing. There's that slider, and it's his 6th strikeout.
Against just 1 walk. That 1 walk hurt him, came in the 4th inning and led to the 3rd Indians run. Lonnie Chisenhall, just 23 years of age. 1st round pick in 2008. Batting in the 8th spot, takes a sinker on the corner.
Base hit the last time, broken 0 for 12. It's only his 9th game at the big league level this year.
Chisenhall was a young player who worshipped Cal Ripken growing up. It's a pretty good guy to root for.
He's a third baseman. If he was a little older, maybe it'd be Brooks Robinson. Get a good look at that ball and how it curves.
Curved quite a bit, didn't it?
Yes.
Think about him enjoying the play of Cal Ripken and all the injuries that baseball has had this year. You look back at Cal Ripken playing as long as he did, it just makes it even more amazing. For call, boots it. That'll be an error. Second Cardinal error of the night. Alan Craig had one last inning, and now it's Rafael Furcal with his 7th error of the season.
Got some really bad news today. Michael Restretch, the grandson of Red Shandies and the son of Mark and Kathleen Restretch, passed away this morning. Michael was 15 years of old and had a valiant battle with cancer, but it just got too much. I want you to check the newspapers for some of the more information, but there will be a service at Our Lady of the Pillars Parish Center on Sunday from 3 to 5. Memorial Mass will be celebrated on Monday at 10 a.m. at the Annunciata Catholic Church. And so our deepest sympathies to Red and all the Shandies family and the passing of Michael.
Sad news indeed.
He was a tough kid.
Tough grandfather. There goes the runner. Ground ball, base hit, hit and run successfully executed with the pitcher, Josh Tomlin. You don't expect pitchers to even know the signs.
Well, that's true, and probably he didn't start hitting until about a week or 10 days ago. Started taking a little batting practice, but she said he had success last year in interleague play, and just a fastball out around over the plate. They start the runner. He wants to go to the right side. He gets the ball out away from him in perfect execution. Chisenhall over at third.
Westbrook was not able to pitch around the error in the 5th inning.
Marte warming up for the Cardinals. Calado. Two of those big guys out there look the same from this distance.
Bullpen a little bit more kind of unlevel right now, Al. Mike Matheny saying before the game the only reliever he'd be hesitant to use today would be Eduardo Sanchez with the work that he's had, but it seems that they've righted the ship a bit.
I was a little surprised though he used Freeman in the last inning with all these left-handed bats.
Agreed.
But Sam had a good inning. You definitely, if you're a left-handed reliever, you better be ready to pitch when Cleveland comes to town.
Sanchez, Salas, and Freeman, a good inning in the finale against the Astros. The Astros, on the other hand, threw 233 pitches in that game.
It seemed like 532.
Sure did. 10 walks. They struck out 11 Cardinals and gave up 16 hits. Much crisper game here tonight. Cabrera, the on-deck hitter, trying to get a good view of Jake Westbrook.
Nobody minds that anymore, do they?
Swing and a miss. Strikes out Chu.
One of the best things you can say about Jake's outing tonight would be if he can get through 7 innings. Actually, if you go further than that, his spot won't come up for a while, but that'll at least save that bullpen a little bit. And where the 2 errors have led to 1 unearned run of the 4, you know, he could have a little better luck.
No question. at 90 pitches. You would think he could go one more, perhaps. Cabrera's 2 for 3. Singled and scored in the first, singled in the fifth.
Used to be, they always talk about sinker pitchers were much better when they're tired, so you wanted to see them pitch on short rest or long pitch counts.
Here's the pitch count.
It helps when you to go deep in a game when you have a couple of those innings with single digits.
The errors always seem to extend that pitch count too, don't they? You have to throw to one more batter, labor a bit more. Wainwright had that issue in Houston. 2-1 now to Asdrubal Cabrera, an all-star, very good defender, and he can swing the bat at 302. The Indians, like any team in baseball, Al, have their share of tradition. Some great players that have played in their history. The 2-1 is fouled back. Think of Bob Feller when you think of the Indians.
Oh, I got to know Bob Feller quite a bit, and over the years, you know, as he mellowed and as he changed, I liked him better and better.
Think of Omar Vizquel. Think of Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen. Gary Bell. That'll bring a smile to some faces from old Cleveland.
Just foul.
Ding dong bell.
Another look at how much that baseball curves when it's hooked foul. It's fair. It's fair. Nope. Could be a big pitch for Westbrook. 2-2 is grounded to the right side. Descalzo has it and has his man. So Westbrook pitches around the error by Furcal. Bottom of the sixth. Cardinals trail by 4. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By O'Charlie's, 2 for $20, 1 appetizer and 2 entrees, just $20. Only at O'Charlie's.
Look at these. Now, I don't like that one because that's the current version of the Mad Hungarian. Well, you're looking at these cookies that Schnucks their bakery made for me. And if you go to, they still had some, about 47 dozen of them at Lindbergh and Clayton Road. But Schnucks made these. There's also our sign from Fox Sports Midwest.
Perfect likeness, that last one. Perfect.
Really
likeness.
have to thank a young lady, Joyce Reese, who was our contact from Schnucks. That I learned everything about fried chicken today.
Did you?
We'll be talking about that, but I've got a big hello. I got to thank Edith Reese, because your daughter was instrumental in those cookies. But Edith Reese watches every game in Fulton, Missouri, and you have a wonderful daughter, Joyce, and Edith. Come on, bring the Cardinals some luck.
Those cookies were very popular up here in the booth, Al.
It's kind of, I don't know, was that nasty of them to make the current one? Ran out of white icing.
I'm going to be nice to you. 4-0 Cleveland. What's on tap tomorrow? It'll be on Fox. Masterson and Loesch, game 2 of the 3-game series. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock. What's on tap, as always, brought to you by Budweiser. Holiday bounces out. Now Alan Craig, who walked and grounded to the shortstop in the 3rd. And I have not quite figured out what makes Josh Tomlin so good.
Throw strikes. You know, he just, when he throws it in the middle of the plate, it's kind of where they hit it to center field. Pitches in enough to keep hitters honest. Kind of changes speeds. It's called pitching. Now, throwers, and there's pitchers.
Not a big guy, 6'1", 190. And I'm not even sure he's that.
He's done here in interleague play. 3-0 record. But look at the 15-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Opponent's only hitting 198 on him.
Good pitch on the inside corner. And that is his very first strikeout of the night.
When you're young, you fall in love with strikeouts. When you start getting smart, strikeouts are, there's a place for them at times, but when you can get a good hitter to think that he has to push away from an inside strike, you know, you're just confusing the hitters.
It's interesting, Al, the Cardinals with just one strikeout tonight, that's been a problem for them of late.
It has been.
Number of games more than 10 strikeouts.
They set a record for, there were 7 consecutive games with at least 8 strikeouts. And we saw 41 strikeouts, 4 games in New York. Had 15 strikeouts the other day and 11 strikeouts last night. Both those, there's at least 25 in 2 of the 3 games in Houston. And this is a team that doesn't strike out that much. And because he's not a strikeout pitcher, it's a reason why he goes deeper into games. Consistently will get you, as we said, set a modern day record of 37 straight starts of at least 5 innings.
Working in the 6th, only 19 pitches, now 20 have been outside of the strike zone. Another reason why the pitch count is low for Josh Tomlin.
I'll bet you he's thrown more out of the strike zone, but the Cardinals have expanded the zone and chased him.
I bet you're right. There's a line drive in the gap in right center field. Chu on the move. And he runs it down. 1-2-3 inning. 8 straight. 6:57, the first interleague game for St. Louis. And how about this batting order for the Cleveland Indians? Big names: Franco, Thome, Vizquel, Williams, Justice, Ramirez, Alomar, Grissom. That's some team.
And not a bad pitcher. There's another pitcher we didn't include in there. And you see some of the guys on the Cardinals side brings back some memories to you. And how about the fact that John Mabry hit the first home run in interleague play?
Cardinals are just 5-12 against the Indians in interleague play, and they have a new relief pitcher. Our Mid-America Chevy dealers called to the bullpen, Michael Clado, the right-hander. Jake Westbrook went 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts.
Westbrook threw 97 pitches. Thought maybe he might give him another one. Push that count up there a little bit and don't go to the bullpen unless it's necessary. Clado has pitched in 3 previous games, 2.25 ERA, just 4 innings, and he's got a 6-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Hard thrower, compensation for Brendan Ryan. We've seen his breaking ball a little more consistent this time around than it was a year ago.
Has a live arm, doesn't he?
It does appear that his fastball is straight, but still it's a challenge to hit something at 97, 98 miles an hour.
Agreed. Shallow left for call back. In comes Holiday, and he one-hands it. Clado gets his first man. Kick off your summer at Busch Stadium with Six Flags Day. It'll be Saturday, June 9th. Cardinals are going to play the Indians this Saturday. All fans 48 inches and under will receive a free ticket to Six Flags. For Cardinal tickets, call 314-345-9000 or visit us online at cardinals.com. That's tomorrow, Saturday, June 9th, Cardinals and the Indians. Carlos Santana. Cue the music.
With all the offense last night and a long 3-hour and 45-minute game, it was about that time when the guys started hitting their homes this morning. So a long night, and you know, Houston did it to themselves. They had to play on the road. They had to play in Chicago against the White Sox tonight, but they are the youngest team in baseball, and so they've got a lead tonight.
There's something to do with age and ability to work on less sleep. Is that your point?
Some guys train better for how to deal with less sleep. You know, when that's the normal time to come home, go to bed, you know, you're all right. Ricky, that's why you probably would have a hard time on a day like this.
Agreed. Still loving that view. Whitey Herzog started me a game in Candlestick Park that began on July 4th at 10 a.m. He said I'd be the only pitcher that would be awake on his club. So I got the start. 2 quick outs in the 7th. Time for our AT&T trivia question of the night. Who is the Indians' all-time leader in batting average? I bet Al knows this one.
I know it, but you're going to give it. Trust speaker. 354.
It's a nice career average.
I would say. Guys would die to have that for 1 year.
Hall of Famer. Talked about the great Indians. Didn't mention him.
For a reason.
I believe Cy Young. We were holding it for the trivia question.
That's right.
I believe Cy Young was an Indian. And he was pretty good.
Got to be good to have that many losses.
Yeah, I don't think they worried about pitch count for Cy Young, did they?
No. A lot of people's favorite would be a guy like Rocky Colavito.
Lou Boudreau.
Oh, yeah.
Line drive base hit for Brantley. That's his second hit.
He looks like his father, doesn't he? Facially?
He does.
Two hits and RBI tonight. Cueto will get it up there. And he can just turn on it.
Damon looking for his first hit of the night. He's 0 for 3, bounced into a fielder's choice. Two-time All-Star.
Got a lot of respect for Johnny Damon. Always liked his way of playing. Cueto is a big guy that has a slow delivery. So a team that leads the American League in stolen bases might try it. Brantley has 9 on the year. There's 2 times he's leaning a little bit, and Cueto reading that. Mike Matheny flashing it from the bench. Also disrupts the concentration of the pitcher going to the plate.
Cueto set, and the pitch. Molina snap throw. Not in time. We've seen that before.
You just wonder why people even take a secondary lead with Molina. I think he's about 39 times in his career he's picked off that runner at first base. But everyone is alert to that. You'll still catch somebody sleeping.
Nice pitch at the knees from Cueto. And there's enough in him that gives you hope that he may evolve into being an important part of the Cardinal bullpen and maybe get later and later work out. What do you think his upside is? A closer?
I don't think so, because of the, that his ball is straight and they hit him hard, but there's no doubt he's just turned 23 on May 1st. From the Dominican Republic, lives in the capital of the country. Originally signed by the Mets, acquired by Seattle in a 12-player deal that involved J.J. Putz to the Mets, and then the Cardinals got him in the Brendan Ryan deal. But because of his velocity, you can't. The Cardinals right now have more hard throwers than I can remember in a long time.
Agreed.
And so it's not like. But even if you're a 7th, 8th inning guy, I mean, that's good enough. And I think those roles you kind of touched on are starting to be defined a little better now there because of success.
Hard hit to right by Damon. It's deep, and it is gone. Johnny Damon has homered to right, his second of the season.
And when I talk about straight, he gives up a lot of home runs.
Pitch up. Our Nissan drive of the game delivered by Johnny Damon.
Johnny knew it when he left the batter's box. Did it the professional way. Just drop the bat and trot around the bases. But there's ways that pitchers can kind of learn or gather a little bit of movement. I don't know, Rick, did you ever have your fingers spread? You ever put them together?
I did them both.
But I see everybody always has their fingers spread. Put them together and you put it a little off center, and you can get a lot of movement.
I had it together for my normal fastball. Yeah, you separate them when you throw off-speed pitches.
And I watch a lot of these guys, that just spread those fingers as much as possible.
I always wanted the fingers together so the ball would move left or right.
Correct. especially guys that have big hands like Plato. You know, you're just a little bit off center. You throw it in a certain way, and you don't have to do really twist or turn or anything and do any damage to your arm, and you can get a little bit more movement. It is tough to teach.
So much emphasis on velocity.
Now, Dyer Miller, and you weren't on the trip, but Dyer's gotten to the point where he's got all these guys working on trying to throw strikes just in their plain catch with their catching partner.
Right.
And we tell, you know, a couple bullpen guys, now you get there and as Plato's throwing to Freeman, you know, you get down a little bit, give him a sign, try and hit spots, try and do this, that. It's so elementary, but you don't see it often.
It's one thing you tell young kids when they're playing catch. Every throw should have a purpose. And if your partner's not giving you a target, ask for one. Dyer Miller spent some time coaching in the Indians organization. Actually, we were together doing that in the minor leagues. Dyer very well respected in this game, and I, for one, like having him around.
Sure. He's got a wealth of knowledge. You know, he's particularly the guys in the bullpen, all the kids down there, you know, he's had them in the minor league system as a coordinator. And keeps things very positive for him.
Ground ball, tough play for Craig. He retires Chisenhall, but Johnny Damon, second home run of the season off of Clado. Time to stretch here in St. Louis. So far, it's been all Cleveland Indians. Top of the seventh inning to extend the Indians' lead to 6-0. Earlier this week, Johnny Damon did it with his glove. That's fielder at the plate. This happened on Wednesday. Damon made a play up against the wall to rob fielder of a home run. And he struck here offensively in the seventh inning. We actually saw Johnny Damon before batting practice today. They sit up the middle for Molina, doing the preparation to make that same kind of play maybe tonight. This is what professionals do, Al. Here he is earlier today checking out the wall.
It's pretty smart, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, it's just, he was getting his running in, but while you're out there and kind of catching your breath, go check where the padding is, see how hard you can go up against that fence, or maybe even be able to push off and jump up and catch something over the wall.
Well, they say where preparation meets opportunity, that's what luck is. Damon certainly preparing. There's a base hit to right for Descalzo. So back-to-back hits for the Cardinals here in the 7th inning. They've got something going, trailing 6-0.
Nobody warming up yet, but I'm sure someone will. The phone looks like it's just starting to ring. Salas is throwing in the Cardinal bullpen, but stretching in the Cleveland pen, but nobody up yet.
Little stall tactic going on the mound now as the catcher Santana out to talk to the pitcher Tomlin.
Nobody now. Their pitching coach is in the pen. Finally just flipped the ball to a reliever.
Pitch count still low for Tomlin. And we have somebody who's decided to run onto the field again, and he is going to be escorted off the field. That's the second time we've had this here at Busch Stadium. And not a good idea.
Well, Scott Radinsky liked it. Cleveland pitching coach, former Cardinal. Boy, he was good when he first burst on the scene with the White Sox. And you see him bouncing the ball right there. Doesn't have much to do with the way Tomlin has pitched.
Nothing Indians. Cardinals with runners at first and second, Molina and Descalzo. Shane had a base hit in the 2nd inning, bounced out in the 4th. Ground ball to the right side. They're only going to be able to get one, and they do. Kochman flips to the pitcher covering.
Both runners advance, and Matt Adams, big young power hitting first baseman.
So Matt Adams, the pinch hitter. Plato went just 1 inning, gave up the 2 runs via the home run to Johnny Damon. Indians play Adams deep in the outfield. They know about his power, and they have the shift on as well. Curveball misses. Cardinals have 14 pinch hits in 89 plate appearances. The Indians only have 11 plate appearances for pinch hitters.
Yeah, with the difference of the DH and hitting for the pitcher.
There's a line drive up the middle, base hit. 1 run will score. Make it 2. Matt Adams scores both Molina and Descalzo, and it's now 6-2 Cleveland. Well placed by Matt Adams.
Going off of memory, I think that's his first pinch hit in the big leagues, and it'll be a knockout blow of Tomlin. By Matt Adams, who's been worked over by some guys as a pinch hitter, and here he does a good job. A little line drive up the middle, shallow enough that 2 runners are able to score as they both advance on a little squibbler by Robinson. No call to the bullpen yet. Scott Radinsky out there is not many active. Joe Smith is the right-hander warming up.
Former New York Met. Cardinals have seen him before. Last couple of years he's pitched in Cleveland. And there's a very decent group of pitchers out there in the bullpen for the Indians. They have 3 lefties and 4 righties, and the closer, Chris Perez, has 19 saves on the season.
Former Cardinal. Chris Perez would love to come back here and show the Cardinal brass what he's all about now.
Rafi for call. Ground ball, base hit over the head of the first baseman, and Adams is not going. He had to hold up. He thought that might be caught by the first baseman in the air.
Just really caught in no man's land as he broke, and then thought there was going to be a line drive caught by the first baseman. So he's going back to the bag, and then he was easily had at second base. So not much he could really do other than just blindly run to second base. And if they would have caught it, it would have been a sure double play, and everybody would be criticizing him.
Absolutely. Well, it doesn't work out for Adams. Call changes places with him. Carlos Beltran is 1 for 3 and a bunt hit when the Indians pulled everybody to the right side. Third baseman was playing shortstop at the time, and he's shaded a bit more towards the third base bag here. I don't think the Indians would want to give up another base runner here in front of Matt Holliday. Have to play a little more honest now, don't you?
Yes, and you know the Cardinals have really, in the course of the year, have scored so many runs in the first 6 innings. And at times they've kind of slowed down, but of late, it seems like they are maybe not as run producing in the early, but late innings they start coming alive, and hopefully that's the case. Definitely was the case last night.
We've seen a number of instances, Al, of the Cardinals coming back from huge deficits, but maybe not coming all the way. The bullpen giving up a couple extra tallies late. Even that Clayton home run, if he does not do that in the top of the 7th inning, we've got ourselves a very tight ball game.
Right. Even tighter now.
A long one to right. Back goes Chu to the wall. That ball hung up in right field. Carlos Beltran gave it a ride. Welcome back to Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. Let's go to Dan McLaughlin with this Bommarito Sports Update. Dan? Thanks, Dan. Our Mid-America Chevy dealers call to the bullpen is Fernando Salas, and now we talked about it. Johan Santana with that update, not exactly as good as he pitched against the Cardinals. That was some epic night in New York.
And that's what you worry about. You know, we career high 134 pitches. Last year he missed the entire season with shoulder surgery, giving him extra rest. And what, he allowed 4 home runs, loses 9-1 to the Yankees, and I'm sure Terry Collins is really maybe questioning himself, leaving him in. But that was Santana's call.
Shelley Duncan, the pinch hitter for Cleveland here in the 8th inning.
We could see Shelley maybe in left field on Sunday against Joe Kelly, making his major league debut, a little lefty. He's got some pop in his bat.
Major league fly ball on the left side for Call has it. Yadier Molina asking for that pitch up to the son of the former Cardinal pitching coach Dave Duncan. There he looks for it up, and he gets it up.
And he does it. You see really an uppercut swing, and that's where he gets a lot of that launch and hits a lot of fly balls. But if you can elevate it like that, you swing and miss, or the pop-up. Worked to perfection. Salas recalled yesterday, pitched a scoreless inning.
And looking sharp so far. Pitching to Shin Soo Choo. Choo is 0 for 4.
Like the way he plays, though.
No doubt. We talked about him being a complete player. Now, he's a good defender, but you like a player that can hurt you with his speed as well as gap power and occasional power. RBI guy. Flares this one down the left field line. This could be trouble if it's fair, and it just slices foul.
He's 0 for 4. We're talking about Choo, but like you said, he showed you some things defensively that make you, to kind of catch your eye and notice, see how far foul it was. Did reach base and score an unearned run in the error on Craig. Simplest little ball, trying to make the exchange. He dropped it, and he was hustling and was safe. Trying to get at an angle to where he can get a little better read of what it looks like standing in the batter's box facing Salas. It's up to a pitcher to stop that.
How might he do that, Al?
Well, in today's baseball, you may complain to the umpire. In old
send
baseball,
a memo, send an email.
You might have let a ball slip.
Text him.
Ryan Duran, had the it's my glasses as I hit the on deck hitter.
Ground ball foul. I'm glad we've evolved to being a little bit kinder and gentler, though. You probably would argue with that.
Of course I would.
It's okay.
So Marshall Falk said he doesn't want the game of football being any tamer. He had to play through those conditions. Marshall, Hall of Famer, not that big. And, boy, was he an electric player. And
he's having his foundation tournament on Monday.
Along as Tony La Russa, Mike Matheny, Marshall Falk, March of Dimes, 17 others.
3-2. Rounded to the right side. You better hurry.
He just backed up on that ball. And, it's a kind of an old rule. Whenever you back up on the ball, then you're at the mercy of the hop instead of being aggressive coming in on it, playing so deep anyway. And a guy that can run.
Chris Perez, former Cardinal. Jim Hayes gave us an update on him. 19 saves and 20 save opportunities this year. He's a Schnucks difference maker for sure for the Indians, and we prefer not to have to see him in any of these games. The Indians do have a 6-2 lead, batting in the 8th inning. And now, I know we're not supposed to talk about the past, but that 7th inning 2-run shot is kind of just bugging me right now.
And, you know, Clayton wanted to come in there, and Mike Matheny expected him to have a shutdown inning. Wasn't to be. Gives up 2 runs. And kind of why not throw Westbrook out for another inning? You know, he's only at 97 pitches. Why not push it? Bullpen's been used quite a bit of late.
Another frustrating part of that Plato inning is he had 2 quick outs and gave up a base hit and a home run with 2 outs. There goes Chu. He's going to get picked off and called safe at first base on a bang play there. Good throw from Molina, and Craig must have missed the tag.
Oh, from here, I thought he got underneath the tag. It looked like he was going to be out, but he goes to the back half of the bag and just underneath the tag, and he clearly is safe.
Good call.
Yachty thought he had another one. He was stealing on the play and then stopped, and Yachty saw it, threw behind as he came back, but he got in there safely.
So a missed opportunity for the Cardinals as Chu almost ran into an out.
You know, I'm going to disagree with you when you said you didn't want to see Chris Perez. I do.
That means the game's going to get closer.
Yeah. I mean, right now, if you don't see him, Cardinals aren't going to get anywhere. They're not going to get back in the game.
It's kind of going for that 10-run Cardinal bottom of the 8th.
I would have to think if the Cardinals score 10 runs, we're going to see him.
All right. Point well taken.
Well, no, in today's baseball, maybe you don't, because it's the 8th inning, not the 9th.
Exactly.
Cabrera wanted to see his talents, showing you a little more offense than the defensive side, where he is recognized as just flat out outstanding.
So is Chris Perez sitting out there almost by himself in the Indians bullpen? Is he contemplating all the combinations and permutations of the game of baseball that might get him in this game? What's going on in his head right now?
He absolutely should be. You know, and if you watch the game and kind of see the flow.
Descalzo. Paul had trouble getting it out of his glove, but he still completes the double play. 4-6-3. The Cardinals turn another. The 8th inning, game 1 of a 3-game weekend series. Interleague play underway. Our Home Depot doing more on defense. And we're going to take a look at the play of Daniel Descalzo laying out to his right. Descalzo really making the play of the game so far. Cardinals have also made some bad plays defensively. They have 3 errors tonight. Descalzo has one of them, Furcal another, and Alan Craig the third.
We're into the bullpen, and this is Joe Smith, who said started with the Mets organization. Pitched last. This will be his 4th year with Cleveland. 27th appearance, 4-1, 338. Part of the bullpen mafia.
Joe Smith went to Wright State, Al. Did not make his college team his freshman year. Was cut from Wright State. Decided he was going to learn how to throw sidearm. Made the team his junior season. And here he is pitching in the big leagues. How about that?
It happens.
You don't think of Wright State as one of your perennial College World Series teams.
No, I would not. Brett Butler, who played for Cleveland, but he was cut from his high school team. He was too small. Brian Downing didn't play for his senior team, and longtime American leaguer with the Angels.
Good breaking ball. Last minute sharp break. Strikes out Matt Holliday, his first batter. And we've been asking for your emails. Carsoup.com. Email the booth. This question comes from Pat from Washington, Indiana. Is there only one platinum glove for both leagues? Al, I don't know, but I bet you do.
I do know, and it's.
I knew it.
There's only one. Yadier Molina was the winner in the National League, and Pedro Feliz in the American League.
Base hit to right for Craig, his first hit. He's now hitting 6 straight. Friday, June 15th. Be sure to bring the family to Busch Stadium. It's going to be Merrimack Caverns night. Kids 11 and under will receive a coupon good for 1 admission to Merrimack Caverns cave tour and boat ride. Might be hot outside, but it's always a cool 60 degrees inside the cave. David Freese. Craig the runner at first. Can the Cardinals get something going here in the 8th inning? Cardinals have done a nice job of coming back quite a bit this year. As Al has already mentioned, can they do it tonight?
One of the big difference between these two clubs is, and we're not close to it yet in a 6-2 games, but they are very, very good in one-run games. And the Cardinals are not, and that is a reflection of the bullpens. Not all the time, but like the other night, the Cardinals lost 9-8. They came back. You go 4-3 on the team where it wasn't so bad, but it's kind of, we've had times where we've been behind, and then like the 7th inning here, you allow them to get 3 more runs, couple more runs, and then it makes it that much more difficult to come back from it. And you see the records in one-run games. Cleveland 10-2, the best in Major League Baseball. The Cardinals 5-10, tied for the 21st or 25th out of 30.
3-1 to Freese.
Smith had the fourth best ERA by relievers in the American League last year. 2.01. 3-3, 71 appearances. It's funny how they even could throw to first base. They got to drop down.
That's right.
You think, hey, go over the top.
Probably a lot of movement too. First baseman has to be ready for that. 3-2 pitch is hit down the right field line. Slicing foul. 42,098 on hand here tonight. Nice crowd, nice evening.
About when Cleveland opened up their new ballpark. They had several years where they had sellouts every night. Remember, we went there and didn't really play during that time.
Freese strikes out. Smith hits that outside corner. David's now 0 for 4, and he just painted that outside corner, didn't he?
Oh, that's pitching. You see how he drops down. Looks like he's, if you're batting right there, it looks like that ball is coming and released behind your back, and then he hits and just absolutely paints the corner down and away.
That ball probably looked to be a foot outside for David Freese.
First, you kind of think you have to bail out because it's going to hit you.
Right.
Let's look at the strikeout pitch again. So he drops down, releases that ball behind your back, and then he paints the outside corner. Very tough on right-handed batters when you drop down like that. But lefties, they get a good look at the release point.
Ground ball up the middle. Base hit for Molina. That's his third hit of the night. Yachty's swinging a hot bat.
Been doing it all season long. Had a good road trip. Hit 344 on the road trip.
Swinging the bat like a man who wants to start in the All-Star game.
That's right. Hit 337. Leading voted in the National League, and he's been the last three. The 4-time Gold Glover, 3-time All-Star in the last 3 years, and the first recipient of the Platinum Award. We didn't really get into that. People don't know about it. It's a reward. The Gold Gloves are rewarded by Rawlings, and Rawlings came out this year with, okay, of all the Gold Glove winners in the National League and the American League, who is the superior defensive player? And that they received a Platinum Award, and it was Yadier Molina in the National League and Pedro Feliz in the American League.
That ball almost hit Descalzo. The 1-0 almost hit him again.
You see, left-handers, they get a good look at the release point. So Joe Smith and Radinsky will come out here, but he's got to change things a little bit and up and in. Scott Radinsky, if I'm not mistaken, he had Hodgkin's cancer. And when he was with the White Sox, he was just flat out nasty.
Really was.
And we saw him in later stages.
Vinny Pistano. Very stingy as far as giving up hits. He's getting loose behind Joe Smith.
A lot of times, they just don't let a submariner like Smith face left-handed batters.
Descalzo ahead in the count. Good curveball in the outside corner. The base hit here, Al, makes this game very interesting. Cardinals have already used Matt Adams off their bench. He delivered a 2-run single. Descalzo strikes out. Smith strikes out the side, onto the ninth.
As we go to the ninth in St. Louis, coming up after the game on the post-game edition of Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live, Danny Mack and Cal Eldred standing by. Jake Westbrook's early troubles continue. They'll break that down. We'll have play reaction straight from the Cardinal clubhouse. And some lucky soul is going to get a hungo tonight. Sam Freeman on to pitch for the Cards. We go back to the booth, and Rick and Al, guys.
Thanks, Jim. Make sure you stay and watch our post-game show tonight and break down this game, and hopefully we'll be talking about a Cardinal come-from-behind victory in the ninth. Sam Freeman will try to keep this game at 6-2, and been in 4 games at the big league level. And Al, what have we seen from Sam Freeman?
He's got a mid-90s fastball, and he hides the ball well, so it's sneaky fast at a high velocity. A changeup that should be fine for the right-handed batters to help him combat them. His breaking ball is a little inconsistent, but you know, he was at Double-A for most of the year. Got promoted to Triple-A, only made 6 appearances, gave up 3 runs during that 6 innings of work, and find himself here in the big leagues. So there's a lot to be encouraged and happy with Sam.
Live arm again, and you mentioned the number of Cardinal arms that have come through the minor league system the last few years that have the good fastball, and Freeman's another one. This is ball 1 to Jason Kipnis. Line drive to center field. Handled by Robinson.
Now you wanted to stay away from Sanchez in this game because he's his workload of late, but Freeman's been pitching an awful lot. And almost a little surprised used him here in a game where you're down 6-2 when you see all these left-handed batters. You have the off day on, you know, on Monday, but pitched last night. You have to be thinking and feeling that he'd be available all through the weekend series.
Good pitch. 4-3. Retires Carlos Santana. And speaking of Santana, I wanted to show you what guys have done that have thrown no-hitters in perfect games this year. They've gone from no-no to oh-no.
Yeah, Humber had the perfect game, and he's struggled since that time. Jared Weaver's on the disabled list. A little higher ERA that you think for him, but 2-1, and then here tonight, Santana. Nohan was home run Han.
Doesn't roll off your tongue quite as well, though.
No.
But he certainly was. Had trouble keeping the ball in the ballpark against the Yankees. Cardinals, we mentioned, beginning interleague play here tonight. Cleveland, the White Sox, and Kansas City in this homestand. And they go on to Detroit and head to Kansas City, then back to the National League and Miami.
Sam Freeman was called up on June the 1st, and this is his 5th appearance since then. Good one.
1-2-3 inning for Freeman. Nice job. Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Taco Bell, Live Moss. And by the State of Missouri Tobacco Quit Line. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Bottom of the 9th inning, the Cardinals, their last shot at winning game 1. The Cleveland Indians jumped out in front in the first inning. A couple of runs off of Jake Westbrook. Added 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 2 in the 7th. Nick Hagedorn, big, tall left-hander. Good numbers for him, 2.89 earned run average. He will pitch the 9th for Manny Acta. The Cardinals will have Robinson, a pinch hitter, and the top of the order against this left-hander.
Second stint with the big club for Hagedorn. Very tough on hitters. They're all batting 179. Right-handers 235, lefties 121. And it was a pretty good trade for both sides. There's acquired from the Boston Red Sox along with tomorrow's starter Masterson and Brian Price for Victor Martinez.
Robinson's had a nice showing. Actually struggled a little bit more as a pinch hitter, but when he's been in the lineup, the average has been up there, hitting 278 right now. But as a pinch hitter, he struggled some.
And unfortunately, he's been the Cardinals' best pinch hitter. Most hits and most appearances also. Only batting 4 hits for 20 pinch hit appearances, but getting a little more playing time, it helps out.
Batting against the lefty, Hagedorn. Defense has been a problem for the Cardinals tonight. 3 errors. The Indians have been flawless.
I knew I was. Every time I said Pedro Feliz, I go, that's not right. That's not right. That was left over from Houston because the third baseman, Houston Beltre, third baseman for Texas. He's the platinum gold winner, glove winner.
And our guy, Yadier Molina, done a great job behind the plate in his years, hoping that he's going to be in the All-Star game, and that's right around the corner. 2-2 the count to Shane Robinson.
Currently, the Cardinals have 2 leading vote getters, by the balloting, and hopefully there'll be more. It's been a long time since they've had just one representative. I think it was 2002 with Matt Morris. But Holiday, his 2 full seasons with the Cardinals, he's been an all-star. For Call was fairly close, about 20,000 votes the last time I saw underneath Tulowitzki. Yachty should be there. A lot of good catchers, though. I know he's going to be there with Tony picking. And he won't really get that many choices, but he will insist on Yadier Molina. And hopefully his vote total will just make it academic.
And as we were told many years ago, Al, it counts. This one counts.
It does.
Home field advantage in the World Series. Hagedon gets a pop-up on the left side. Who wants it? Third baseman handles it. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Tyler Green pinch hitting for the Cardinals. Once again, it was good to see some of the guys back on the disabled list, at least taking batting practice and a little more baseball activities. Just having Chris Carpenter with the ball club is good. Saw John Jay in there. I saw Schumacher hitting during batting practice. Matt Carpenter's supposed to hit today.
Reinforcements.
Those 2 guys could
the cavalry.
They could go out on rehabs possibly this weekend or early next week. We'll have to have a roster change to bring Kelly. Joe Kelly, who's going to start on Sunday.
Swing and a miss by Tyler Green. Green has showed some flashes of brilliance. Skip Schumacher also missed.
Coming along nicely, and as I said, I saw him take batting practice today.
Late swing. Hagedon fans Green. 2 outs in the 9th. Our Budweiser player of the game, we're going to give it to the starting pitcher, Josh Tomlin, who's in line for his 3rd victory of the season. Was not overpowering, Al, but effective.
As advertised. And, it gives you the innings, keeps hitters off balance. Did score 2 runs off him, but 7 innings. 8 hits and a comfortable 0 for 4. What hitters talk about. A guy like Tomlin. Fireworks night, and unfortunately not much for the Cardinals.
0-2 to Furcal. Loesch and Masterson will pitch tomorrow. The rookie Kelly will go against Ubaldo Jimenez on Sunday. Former Rocky. He is not the same pitcher that he once was.
No, but they feel, the velocity coming back a little bit and regaining some of the confidence. The start he had a couple years ago with the Rockies couldn't be much better.
Ground ball to third. That'll do it. Furcal is retired, and the Indians win game 1 of the series, Al.
A little disappointing. Cardinals thought they would produce a little more. They had 10 hits, but only 2 runs. Big 3 errors, and kind of mixed reviews for the club on this one.
Well, the Cardinals have come home, but not a good start to this homestand. But don't go away. Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live, the postgame show. It's coming up next.